buyouts, contracts, and a little more. All this episode of Locked On Coyotes.
You're Locked On Coyotes, your daily podcast on the Arizona Coyotes, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Welcome to the show, everybody. This is Locked On Coyotes, your number one daily podcast on the Arizona Coyotes. I am your host, Robyn Leonio. That's Matthew Jacobson right beside me. We want to thank everyone for making this show your first listen every day. We're free and available everywhere you get your podcast. We got a great episode for you today. An episode that is brought to you by Game Time. Just download Game Time app, create an account, and use the code LOCKEDONNHL for $20 off your first purchase. Lots of news, Matthew, for the Arizona Coyotes and just, over the course of the latter half of this week that we just got to get everyone caught up on. You got contracts getting signed off, bought out.
The Coyotes are buyers. They're going to get Alex DeBrincat. They're going to get Barbashev. They're going to get someone else, Toffoli. They're gonna just load up for a playoff run, and they're gonna win in the mullet, and that's what they're doing.
Yeah, they're gonna get more. They're gonna be more competitive. They're in quote win now mode, according to Yahoo Sports. No,
yeah,
they're not
apparently
win now.
More competitive means win now. That is one of the dumbest things. I'm also not surprised though. Look, Robyn, we've been in this business way too long. We know these. When it comes to the Coyotes, you're not getting anything good.
No.
You're just not. When it comes to national coverage, because how does we want to be more competitive mean that we're going all in? And this does tie directly into the Zach Kassian and Patrick Nemeth buyouts. We're going to start off with that, but I just don't understand how this went from this cheap organization is trying to get out of paying directly to their win now.
Not only that is that article I read. They were like, oh, they're delusional if they think they're going to try to win now. What?
Look, you can't bargain with stupid. I get it every now and again you actually attempt to, but I'm always there on Twitter to respond to you and other Coyotes fans being like, what? You're not going to bargain with these people. These idiots are stuck in their ways, and if you read any coverage in any context, anywhere on the interwebs about this team that's not like Craig, us, Mike Gould, a bunch of other specific people, you will literally just find
I'll even give a little credit
everywhere.
I'll also give a little credit to Jenna over at the Arizona Republic, but that's about it.
Dude, we got pretty spotty reporting even on our own network, but we can't get too much into that. But it's just no matter what, you'll always see a slant. You'll always see this means they're being cheap. Oh, they're delusional. They think they're going all in right now. Okay. I saw a mock trade that had the Coyotes getting Bouchard a second and 2/4 for Clayton Keller. All right. If you want to talk about delusional, all right, my eyes glaze over. All right, but there's your groundwork. There's the groundwork. What are we talking about? Buyouts. Kassian, gone. Good. Nemeth, gone. You bring back Comfer, so maybe Comfer plays up. Maybe he's just in the AHL, but you move on from a couple of contracts. Well, I don't think Nemeth was bad per se last year. Kassian was a traffic cone. More often than not, a healthy scratch when they were running 7 defensemen, which has to tell you something because the defense wasn't even that good. And then Nemeth is on his way out. So give your interpretation of this, but it's really just taking out the trash. And I do not mean any offense to Patrick Nemeth. Seems like a very nice guy. Was okay, just maybe a little overpaid, but we took that contract on for a reason.
Yeah, no, absolutely, and it's not only that is you take that contract off so you can fit other players that down the road, I mean, a year or two, whatever, down the road, maybe even this off season and come free agency, they're going to be able to, buy in and actually, find guys that can help them be more competitive and, actually spend a little bit more money.
But remember, they're trying to cheap out by buying out two guys right now that requires money to be paid right now, followed by a cap penalty.
It amazes me because people don't realize. Yeah, sure, like buying out a player at that point in their contract seems ridiculous, unless you're a kind of team, the Arizona Coyotes, I believe, are one of these teams that could use more contract spots.
Yeah, and also it makes it to where you don't have to overpay a player because you already have that money on the books. Like, logically, look at it like this, all right? I'm going to be a little candid, and I'm going to throw a little bit of shade. The ticket prices last year, while completely understandable because you need to make sure you're mitigating losses, all right? You need to make sure Mullet is as profitable as you can make it because you don't want to be a burden on the rest of the league, all right? That I understand the price hike. They cannot get away with those prices for 2 years in a row without continuing to try to put a good product on the ice. Last year was the last year they were really trying to suck, essentially. Going into this season, and I knew this for a while. We all kind of knew it. I don't know why some people are surprised. It's good to hear it. It's good to hear we want to be more competitive. It's good to hear that, but we kind of already knew that. And if you have to justify those prices somehow. You legitimately 110% have to. So you go for it. And also now you can pay Michelli, you can pay McBain, you can pay whoever else. You don't have to overpay. So let's say on my old podcast when I was saying, oh, you give Michelli like $5 million or something, that might be considered an overpay. Maybe now you give him 4. Maybe now you give him 3.75. What just fell? Oh my God. Anyway. Whatever. That was just a Sonic game, apparently. But like you could do that now instead of having to feel like you have to overpay or putting yourself in a position where you could overpay. I'm just using Michelli as an example. I don't think $5 million for Michelli would be an overpay on a short-term contract, but I apparently see things differently. But it helps you stay away from those situations while also being like, hey, we have other defensemen we'd like to throw in there, and Nemeth, we don't need you as that buffer in between our young defensemen anymore because they might give Zuber a look. It might be a short stint. They might give X, Y, or Z player a look. You want that open roster spot.
Well, 100%. You do want that. I mean, like, Maverick Lamoureux already has his contract signed. Maybe he tries to make a push. I don't think he will, but maybe he will. So there's a possibility with that one as well, right? You have, Mosier and also making the push too. Like the defense is while still not good, it's going forward, and they're making making the moves that they need on that side as well. So one thing that is interesting though, it's when the buyout was announced. It was funny because people were like, oh, wait, does that mean they used up all their buyout slots? No, you're getting this wrong. It's not buyout slots that they're missing out on. It was the freaking the retained salary spot that's being lost for X amount of years because of the Oliver Ekman-Larsson buyout in Vancouver. That's it.
Don't you only get a number of buyouts per year though? It's separate from retainment slots, but don't you actually get like 2 or 3 that you can do in a year?
Yeah.
Or is it unlimited? I know there's when they first lowered the cap for that shortened season, you had compliance buyouts, and then you could only have a buyout.
There is a certain amount, I still believe, per year. But that's the least of that's the least of our concern.
Yeah, and it's also completely separate from a retainment slot. Side note, we also lost a retainment slot for the next, I think it's 8 years. So, I mean, thanks, Vancouver. But you know what? We got Dylan Guenther. I'll take $200K at max, like $250K as a bit of a cap hit. Anyway, going a little over, we got to tell you a message from Bird Dogs. Robyn, take it away.
Today's episode is brought to you by Bird Dogs. Are you tired of sacrificing comfort for style when it comes to your act? We're introducing Bird Dogs, the game changer in athletic shorts. Picture this: premium shorts designed for maximum performance combined with unparalleled comfort. Bird Dogs are here to revolutionize your workout routine with the unique built-in liner. These shorts offer the ultimate support and flexibility, ensuring you stay comfortable even during the most intense workouts. And here's the best part: Bird Dogs are more than just workout gear. They're versatile enough to take you from the gym to the street without skipping a beat. Bird Dogs are made of premium breathable fabric that will keep you cool and dry throughout your activities, perfect for the trails, the gym, or simply just lounging around. Bird Dogs are the shorts that you've been searching for. Order your pair of Bird Dogs today and from the thousands of satisfied customers who have made the switch. Visit birddogs.com/lockedonnhl and to get the free custom Bird Dogs Yeti-style tumbler with every order. Bird Dogs, where style meets comfort, performance meets perfection. Get yours now and unleash your true potential. All right, so let's go ahead and move on. Once again, I want to thank everyone for making this show your first listen every day. You can find us everywhere you get your podcasts. Talked about the buyouts. Now let's kind of move on from that and get to, hey, Coyotes were able to lock down a key player. Matthew, you and I were talking about maybe, a couple weeks ago about, pending free agents. Who do you sign? Who do you don't? When it came to Michael Carcone, I think it was hard. The decision was hard on whether or not you wanted to resign him. Do you try to resign him? Absolutely. It's a decision of whether or not he would walk. But it seems like he got the deal done.
Oh, I thought we were talking about Max Pacioretty for a second. Yeah, no, Michael Carcone signs a 2-year one-way contract. And just to throw it out there, I think EA, I have to agree with Shannon. I think EA kind of ruins people's perspective on what one-way versus two-way contract means. All it means is he secured the bag. Instead of making like $200,000 in the AHL, he's still going to make the same whether it's in the AHL or NHL. Good for him, honestly. But there you go. He's now taken care of a 2-year contract after leading the AHL in scoring last year. Every year he's been here, he's gotten better. And I'll admit my frustration last year as to why they didn't just let him play more at the NHL level. I know the Roadrunners kind of needed him, but also he wouldn't have really made this team that much better. So it's like he should have been in the NHL. That being said, he had the right mindset. I loved a quote. He was talking to, I believe, Patrick Brown, the team reporter, and he says essentially that he wasn't entitled to the roster spot. He needed to earn it. And in my opinion, he earned the roster spot. But the fact that instead of crying about it, complaining about it, I'm going to take my ball and go home. He's like, no, I want to continue to work. I still got plenty of development in my game. I still got to make sure I get to that level. And in training camp, you'll see that I'll reach that level. That is the winning mindset. It's a very similar mindset that John Farinacci had, where he had, the hard work beats talent when talent doesn't work hard. I absolutely love that quote from him, or it was his dad, one of the two. But that mindset, that you're not entitled to anything. The mindset that you have to work for it. The mindset you have to want it. You can't just, ask for it and there you go and then throw a fit. You don't get a lot of that from multimillionaire athletes. Obviously, Carcone's not a multimillionaire. He's making AHL money, but now he's making some okay money at around, what is it, $775K? Just under 800K. Yep. So making some good money. I'm happy for him, honestly. And he has that kind of wiry, kind of grindy mindset that kind of fits perfectly with the whole scratching and clawing culture the Coyotes build here. And I am ecstatic that he's coming back because I legitimately felt he might have walked.
I absolutely love that, he's coming back to be a part of this team that's trying to be more competitive, which reminds me of another social media little thing that we had going where someone made fun of the Coyotes for signing Carcone after they decided after they announced they were going to be more competitive. It's like, you do that, but you don't sign Josh. You don't say you're not interested in Josh Bailey. Like, Carcone is better than Josh Bailey. Like,
one of those players is a Zach Kassian. One of those players is a Michael Bunting. Which would you rather have? The Zach Kassian, I'm taking the bad contract for assets, or the Michael Bunting, this guy's got a lot of skill. I can get him on a 2-year deal for cheap, and he'll be right, comfortable in the middle six. Which guy makes my team better? I wonder. We're having a little coinky dink going on right now. I can't figure it out. We gotta call the detectives. How does this work?
It's hilarious. I'd honestly like. And again, as you said at the beginning of this podcast, and you also said on Twitter, you can't reason with stupid.
You can't. All you can do is make fun of it. The only thing you can I'm talking to all you at home. All right, you know who I'm talking about. Side note, tangent. I'm getting on my soapbox for a second. All right, because we're mostly done with this topic. Side note, I know you. You right there. You like to argue with stupid people online because they're saying this or that dumb thing about the Coyotes. Don't bother. Just laugh. Quote tweet it with like a clown emoji and just laugh at them. Point out the factual inaccuracies. If you want to, call them a window licker because they're probably licking windows. Call them a mouth breather because they definitely breathe through their mouth. And it's not a choice. They just do it, all right? Like, just make fun of them. And then if they respond mad, don't even respond back. Just make fun of them and walk away because you cannot bargain with stupid. That's my soapbox.
Oh my god, I absolutely love it. That's a great way to end the our Carcone talk. But we still got more to get to on this episode of Locked on Coyotes. We're gonna get to more. We're gonna talk about
game time. It's game time. All right, we need to talk about it. So, buying tickets to your favorite events shouldn't be stressful. I know. We go to Coyotes games. We're always stressed out, but it shouldn't be. Getting the ticket shouldn't be stressful. Just being in the building should be stressful. Game Time is a fast and easy way to buy tickets for all sports, music, comedy, and theater near you. With killer deals on last-minute tickets, their best price guarantee, you can stop stressing over the tickets and start getting hyped for the fun you'll have. Imagine this! You want to go watch the Coyotes this preseason. You're not allowed to do it in Arizona but one time, but we can go down to Tucson. And you know where you can secure your tickets? You can go on Game Time and be like, hey, yo, can we get these tickets nice and cheap? Anyway. Snag tickets without the stress with Game Time. Download the Game Time app. Create an account. Use code LOCKEDONNHL for $20 off your next purchase. Terms apply. But again, create an account. Redeem code LOCKEDONNHL for $20 off. Download the Game Time app today. Last minute tickets. Lowest price guaranteed. And the only stress you'll have is being a Coyotes fan in the building.
Once again, I want to thank everyone for making this show your first listen every day. Be sure to check out Locked on NHL. We got the mock drafts coming up, so you got to if you want to take a look at what we got, who's going first, who's going sixth for the Coyotes, who's going 12th, heck, who's going 32nd. We got all that on the Locked on NHL mock drafts. So be sure to check that out after you're done with this. But let's finish off today's episode, Matthew, because we got also some more things. Because yesterday, it was today when we were recording this, but development camp schedule was released, and I couldn't be more excited. This is my first development camp living up here in the Valley, so I'm actually going to try to see if I can go to every single day.
All I know is this is exactly why I like working part-time. I mean, I know I have like 3 jobs technically, but also like the benefit to working part-time is you can look your boss in the eye and say, hey, I'm going to go watch a hockey practice on a Tuesday afternoon, and there's nothing you can do about it. But yeah, no, what are the dates? Isn't it like the 1st through the 3rd or 4th? Like, go ahead and remind me, all right? I'm not too good at the reading or the remembering unless it involves this organization, minus the training camp.
I got to bring it up. It's on my I literally had it saved, but my Twitter is just on. Freaking kept loading more stuff.
Start GoFundMe, get Robyn a new gaming PC, so that way everything is fine and it won't crash on her constantly.
Yes, let's do that. I do need a new PC. This thing is
In the meantime, I'm gonna Jonathan. That's not our actual producer's name. I deserve a raise. My ad reads are amazing.
Absolutely. Where'd it go?
Oh my gosh, we are fumbling the bag, Robyn. I can't believe you're doing this to us. I'll fill the time. I'll go on another monologue. You just interrupt me whenever you find it. So, this development camp's going to be interesting because from I think Craig Morgan said that Logan Cooley will be there. Pretty sure all the rest of the rookies are there. Josh Stone will be there. But then again, Josh Stone's been in the Valley for a while, and I'm not sure if this is public, so I'm not going to elaborate on it. But I do know he's been back up here for a while because I am going to go on a limb and say the kid that grew up here in the Valley is not living in Tucson full time. He's just living down there when it's the season.
All right. So I got those dates finally got it back up. So it is from Monday, July 3rd through Friday, July 7th. And just a heads up, on July 7th is the Black versus White game. However, you can only get in if you are a season ticket holder.
I demand special treatment. I have put up with this team covering them for years with no compensation. The least you could do is let me in your black versus red or red versus white or black and white scrimmage.
Monday and Tuesday are open to the public.
Well, I guess that means I'm going to tell my boss about showing up Monday and or Tuesday because I think we need some hockey back, all right? I know I've been missing the ASU women's training camp that they've been having, the prospect camp. I don't know when the men start theirs, but I know I've been seeing a lot of like the footage on Instagram or whatever. So it's like I miss hockey. I've been spending too much time in the West Valley because I haven't had anything to do in the East Valley for a while. So it's like I've been too much time cooped up over here. I need some hockey back in my life.
Wait.
Live, cold hockey.
But you were also right to say that, hey, look, for those that wanted to see Monday and Tuesday, this is your opportunity to see Logan Cooley, Connor Geeky, Maverick Lamoureux, Dylan Gunther, Josh Stone, and whoever potentially gets drafted in this upcoming year. If it's David Reinbacher or ASP or Zach Benson or Matvey Michkov, they could potentially be there as well.
I think we should trade Josh Stone. It hurts. I can't think of Doan knowing Doan left. We should just trade the other one. Trade him to Nashville. I don't know. Random team. I think the Predators would love a Doan because I can't. My heart hurts. They're playing on Shane Doan's ice, and Doan is gone. Screw it. 7th round pick, Josh Doan.
But either way, just excited to have prospect development camp out here. It is a good time. Especially because these guys are they're the future, and there's some high end talent that we might not get to see this year, with the exception of Dylan Gunther. But the others, there's they're still a year or two, maybe 3 out from making their appearance in the Valley. So get your opportunity to watch them play.
Also, don't they usually do events where, afterwards you can get autographs? I got rid of so many autograph things from when I was a kid, where I'm I'm going to overcompensate now as an adult. But just real quick, so this core you're seeing form, just the core of rookies right now. Clayton Keller doesn't exist. He's on the moon right now. Where does it compare with the group of guys from Hansel, Mueller, Yandel, Bodker, that core of kids coming up? Where do you think this is comparing so far, or do you think it's too early to tell? Because I think minus the defense, this might honestly be better.
I think this group is better. I think because and it is a stretch by some people to say this, but I'm a believer of this. In the talent pool that we are getting in more recent drafts are just overall better than the last decade. It just is that way. And of course, maybe the exception of the 2015 and 2016 drafts, the ones that gave us, Connor McDavid, Jack Eichel, Austin Matthews, and that bunch. 15, 16, it was a mirage of the 2010s and even the 2000s, and also a little earlier too. No, I don't even. The later 2000s, yeah, because the Crosby Ovechkin era was earlier. But anyways, you know what I'm getting at.
I know the talent overall has gotten better. It's kind of similar to basketball, although basketball's gotten ridiculous to where it's like the talent you're seeing now, because the bigger the sports get, the more eyeballs you have on it, the more development from the young ages you get, to where it's like a lot of the talent now is probably like objectively better than talent before. Not because the guys before were scrubs, but because the game keeps getting bigger and more kids are getting involved, more and more knowledge on the game, more and more kids are learning the game the right way, more and more kids are living and breathing the game in different places, to where it's like I feel like in general this is better. But also just from the perspective of as much as I love Don Maloney, and I have almost nothing negative to say about that individual, his drafting was not the greatest. There were some good picks. There definitely were, but I think he had better trades than he had draft picks. Similar thing with Chaika, actually, as well, except for Maloney was just better in literally every regard. But Bill Armstrong has just kind of brought it differently with the draft picks so far. And even Lillibird, just as an example, had a health concern the Coyotes just didn't really want to deal with. Still seen as having enough of an upside for a two-time Cup champion to want him in their system. Just kind of showing that his picks, they're looking pretty good, at least so far in the very small sample size, plus Dylan Gunther.
Yeah. It definitely is. It does seem that way. Also, I will say this too, maybe you can take it what it is, but I think, a lot of GMs, when they follow closely to their previous GMs, when they were an AGM or like an advisor to the GM, whatever role they had in the past before they got their GM role, I believe Bill Armstrong had his under Doug Armstrong with the St. Louis Blues, and I mean, you see what the St. Louis Blues built. They built a championship team only a couple years ago. Like,
yep.
So Bill Armstrong had that.
Take that ship. I'm just saying, you'll take the ship. You'll take the championship over. I was just thinking about Tage Thompson for a second. I got distracted, so I'm like, you'll take the ship. It's fine. You'll take the championship.
Yeah. But anyways, prospect development camp, July 3rd, July 7th. It's going to be fun to watch. And again, the only days that are open to the public are Monday and Tuesday. Don't try to show up on Wednesday or Thursday, because
I think we should. I think we should show up and try to make a scene and be like, do you know who we are? All right. We are locked on. I think we should do it. I think we should go full Karen and have a little bit of fun and be like, if you guys are going to stress me out with your incompetence with the arena, you can at least let me watch you practice.
Matthew, I was telling them not to show up, not us.
I think we should all show up as like an RV.
I love that.
Look, listen. They don't have that much staff there. So if like 1,000 of us show up, they literally cannot stop all of us. I'm just putting it out there. The practice is Area 51, and we should rate it.
Interesting.
All right, go away. I'm done. I'm done.
All right. Well, we're out of time on today's episode of the Locked On Coyotes podcast. If you like what you heard, don't forget to leave a review, like, comment, subscribe if you have yet to already. We are available everywhere you get your podcast, including on YouTube and the SiriusXM SXM app. Just be sure to look up Locked On Coyotes. And forget to interact with us on social media. We're on Facebook, facebook.com/LockedOnCoyotes. And on Twitter at LO_Coyotes. I am personally at Robyn_Leano. Matthew Jacobson is at the AZ Sports Guy. Interact with us, ask a question you might have. We might interact right back or in a future episode of the Locked On Coyotes podcast. Thanks again, everyone, for listening to today's episode. Hope you guys are staying safe out there. Hope you guys are staying healthy. And don't forget to howl on.